Miss Smith, there's something delicate I'd like to discuss with you. We need you to give up this presidential suite and move to one downstairs. It wasn't Justin standing outside, but a younger man. His eyes were similar to Justin's but brighter, and he looked harmless. In fact, he looked exactly like she would expect a well-brought-up boy from a rich family to look. Nora raised her eyebrows. Why? He held out a check. I'm afraid I can't disclose the reason behind this decision, but let me assure you it has not been taken lightly. As you are no doubt aware, this hotel belongs to the Hunts. According to our regulations, if we cancel a booking without reason, we'll pay double for breaching the contract. The check's for $5,000. Nora stared at the check wordlessly. Do I look like I'm strapped for cash or something? Why is everyone trying to buy me off? Seeing that she wasn't giving in, Chester turned more threatening. If you don't agree, then I'll have to ask security to throw you out. I'm sure you don't want things to escalate like that, right? How dare he threaten me? The look in Nora's eyes turned cold. Chester cracked and finally revealed the reason why she needed to leave the room. Miss Smith, you've been trying to seduce my older brother, Justin. I'm cutting you some slack because it isn't easy raising a child on your own. Otherwise, I wouldn't just be stopping at just changing your room reservation. Trying to seduce his brother. Nora yawned. His accusations were so misguided. He clearly wasn't interested in understanding the real reason she was here. I'm curious. How have I tried to seduce him? Chester was angry now. The audacity of this woman. Didn't you spend a ton of money to stay in this room right next door to him so you could take advantage of the proximity? You've managed to deceive Pete, but he's a child. I'm not that stupid. I've looked into you. Your fiancé broke off your engagement and you were unmarried when you gave birth. What makes a woman like you think you're worthy of my brother? Whoa, have I missed something? How am I in the wrong just by staying next door? What makes Justin so superior? Nora was fed up. So no one's worthy of staying in this room, is that it? Chester wasn't keen on her change of attitude. His reply was sarcastic. Of course not. My brother has discovered that Dr. Athena is staying in this hotel. When he finds her, he'll invite her to stay here. Only distinguished guests like that deserve to stay next door to my brother. Nora was puzzled. How did they find out Athena was staying here, but not that I'm her? She wasn't afraid of Justin, but getting entangled with a man like that would be problematic. She thought for a moment. Then she took the check from Chester's hand and said lightly, "Thank you. Send someone up to help us with the transfer." Chester breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness for that. The new suite downstairs wasn't as good as the two top-class ones up here, but it was plenty big enough for 3 people. Most importantly, the new keycard wouldn't allow access to the top floor, meaning she wouldn't have any chance of running into Pete anymore, let alone Justin. Why did she thank me, though? Chester was perplexed as he returned to his own room, but he decided to think no more of it. He reported to Justin, saying, "You don't have to thank me, Justin. This favor to you makes up for my mistake earlier with Pete." He went to join Justin and saw that the computer screen was covered in intertwined lines. Among them, a red dot was moving slowly. It was Dr. Athena, the person Justin had been keeping tabs on for half an hour, tracking her movements. Suddenly, the red dot flashed a few times and disappeared. "You've lost her, Justin," said Chester before he could stop himself. Lawrence glanced at Chester and sighed inwardly. He coughed and said, "Mr. Hunt, why would she suddenly go offline at this critical moment? Do we have a traitor? There's no way Athena could have been tipped off. It must have been a coincidence." The hotel was very efficient. Half an hour later, Nora was already settled in the study of her new suite. After she'd successfully blocked an external attack, she called Solo, who tried to explain. "Sorry, Mr. Hunt found a top-class hacker from somewhere and got information on you from me. At the moment, he's only found out that you're staying at the Hotel Finest. Your exact location hasn't been exposed yet." Said Nora. "Be more careful next time." She hung up and went to check on Cherry. The child was seemingly already asleep in her new bedroom. Nora went to her own room and collapsed on the bed, finally able to sleep, exhausted after her full-on day. 2 minutes later, Cherry eased her bedroom door open and poked her head out. After confirming that her mother was asleep, she gently closed the door, took out her cell phone, and logged back onto her game. Chester was relieved. "You're finally back, leader. Where have you been?" Cherry groaned. "Ugh, the idiot next door demanded we change rooms, totally out of the blue. Didn't you say yesterday that you're back in California after living abroad all this time? I've come all this way to look for you. Where are you staying? The top-class suite next to mine just so happens to be vacant. It's on me." They hadn't found Athena yet, so it was still empty. In response, he heard Sweet Cherry scolding him. "Get into position, Chesty. Even the monsters in the river are better than you at getting into their positions." It was only after she'd scolded him that she replied, "I'm staying at the Hotel Finest." Chester spluttered and started coughing violently. Once he'd recovered his breath, he said, "I'm in Hotel Finest too."
What happens when Chester realizes Sweet Cherry is Nora's daughter? Is Athena about to be exposed? To know more, listen to the next episode. Or install the Pocket FM audio app and listen to the entire series.